Good day everyone, my name is Marcus, and if you're new to our channel, welcome. If you're not, thank you so much for supporting us all this while. Just remember that every like and subscription goes a long way in supporting our production. Now before we dive into today's video topic, have a look at these disclaimers before we proceed. So in today's video, we will be making it on the eve of the US presidential results election. And what we're going to be talking about is how the US is barreling towards the worst case scenario for more stimulus relief. And there are two fundamental reasons why. Heading into 5th October, many retail investors pin their hopes on a so-called blue wave election outcome that doesn't appear to be panning out. And a large component of this so-called blue wave was the prospect of quick and sizable economic stimulus after the election, just like what Donald Trump promised. And that expectation of this stimulus has been made more complex by the prospect of a divided government, for example a Biden win as well as a Republican Senate, which has made the passing of any central bill very, very difficult. And this also carries very severe repercussions for the stock market, which will rally and will drop based on political decisions made in Congress. The thinking around the herd was that under a unified government, the path will be cleared for Democrats to enact sizable relief and further catalyze an economic recovery from the pandemic lows we saw in March. But the thing is, as the election results came pouring in state by state, hopes for a blue wave were kind of dashed. Although it's still too early to say that the Republicans will retain control of the Senate, this is the direction that we appear to be headed in. And the fact that the presidential race is too close to call means that many investors are still on the sidelines, high in cash, and are still hesitant about going all in into the stock market. This would mean that in the upcoming weeks, rather than expecting very large-scale volatile movements, we would see more price consolidation around the ranges that the stock market indexes are now at. For the Nasdaq, we'll be looking at it consolidating between the 11,000 to 12,000 range, whereas for the S&P 500, we would see it consolidating around the 3,200 to the 3,600 range, which is where it has been for the past few weeks already. And another thing to note is that in a note to clients in the New York Times, Holger Snedbiding, one of the most respected columnists on Wall Street, said that the combination of a Joe Biden victory and a Republican Senate would actually result in the smallest possible stimulus package being rolled out due to all the bureaucratic deadlock that such a combination would face in Congress. And this leaves many economists and investors alike in a very confused state because they would not know what is next. And this would also put a stop to the momentum we have been seeing since the pandemic lows of March, because much of the stock market strength in recent weeks has been driven by the prospect of a large imminent stimulus. And some investment pundits even went as far as to say that equities would rally regardless of the presidential victor because either option would ensure more economic relief. And the funny thing is, many smart money analysts, basically the hedge funds, mutual funds, sovereign wealth funds, all heeded this advice and maintained their high cash reserves. And this comes at a very apt time knowing how, just yesterday on the 4th October, Nasdaq spiked close to 5% and ended the day at exactly 5.07% in the after hours. And this price movement matches a recent forecast from Tom Lee, a managing partner at Fundstrat Global Advisors, where he said that stocks will climb even in the event of a contested election, because any further delay in stimulus will be backstopped by Federal Reserve intervention. Ultimately, Coffee Tea Investment's position on this is just speculation, and at the end of the day, this video was made without the hindsight of the presidential-elect winner. Who knows, maybe Trump could win tomorrow and it could result in some volatile price movement again. But the important thing is to make sure that you stick to your portfolio allocation regardless of the election outcome. Because if you were to get disrupted just because of some political movements, all you'll be responding to is short-term noise rather than making long-term fundamental decisions. With that, we have come to the end of today's video, and we hope that you had one key takeaway which you can share with your other friends. I will be flattered if you can leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for our next video and invest safe.
Ever since the day that you